And let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is September 22nd, 4 p.m., Canoga Park, California. And before I get to the intro, I just need to have them hear this. Liquid Paradise IPA.
I'm having the Voodoo Ranger.
Come on.
Experimental IPA.
Woo! Not too bad. Anyway, we're sitting here today having a good time, and we have an awesome guest in the house today who's got a pretty rad story of building a business from the ground up, and he also has some rad products that we all rock.
I love those stories.
We do. It's a good time.
We're kind of one of those stories.
Who's this live brought to you by?
This would be brought to you by Eagle Rider.
Good man.
If you go to the website, what do they need to do?
Well, on the website, there's a blog. You can learn a little bit about that. And if you ever want to rent a bike, you can hook you up. You can get some savings, and you can help support the channel.
That's right. And if you use 2LaneLIVE in the membership code, you get 2 extra credits.
Yes, sir.
I'd also like to thank New Belgium.
Whoa.
They have been supplying us for the last
with cold
3 weeks,
things, cold snacks.
With our cold snacks. And we really appreciate that, Alex and Tyson and the team.
Well, I hope that you guys have been watching our YouTube drops, the Sturgis trip, the journey of them. I think there's 8 episodes or maybe 10 episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's going to be 9 in total.
9 in total. They've been really fun, really great to watch. It's us 3, and we have Juan and Lance in a lot of them. So it was a great 5 of us in Sturgis, great roads, fun times. Go back and check it out. Yesterday's drop was really awesome. You just keep getting better. I dig it.
Well, I ended up texting Tracy, the lady that ended up renting us the home in Deadwood.
Uh-huh.
I just had a hunch. So I said, hey, do we need to maybe put a hold on the house? And she said, what? I thought you rented it again. I'm like, no. So she went back. Someone, I don't know, they got it. So we'll have to find a new place this year. But I think we've got a backup plan.
Oh, we definitely have a backup plan. So get those Sturgis videos under your belt, because next week we're leaving for Tennessee and Kentucky. We're going to hang out with our good friend Letitia Klein. We're going to be riding all over the place. Bourbon Row.
I think we're going to do the Bourbon Trail.
Bourbon Trail.
We're going to do Cave City.
A little caving.
A little caving. Should be a really good time.
And after that, the first week of October, I think we're going to be in Page, Arizona, checking out. November.
First week in November.
First week in November. We'll be in Page, Arizona, checking out northern Arizona, Lake Powell, Glen Canyon Dam, the whole deal.
So I see Kevin Kent posted.
Yeah, we got Kevin Kent in the house. So for those of you guys that are just tuning in, we will be doing the live drawing of the Veteran Hard Part giveaway today. So tune in. That'll be a little bit later in the live. And
And Kevin, thank you again from the bottom of our heart. And then Daryl Oakes last week saw this and was like, hey, I want to do the same thing. So Kevin, you've kind of inspired some others to give back a bit. And so we'll do something with Daryl when we get back. But he was talking maybe even a seat and a couple of other things.
Wow.
So
all right.
Well, pretty cool.
Keep the ball rolling.
What a great community.
Kevin started something here, huh?
Could be.
Well, Michael says the picture is low resolution. I hope it has nothing to do with me uploading files on the other tab. If anyone else is seeing low res,
it looks like on you a little bit.
On me? Well, it wouldn't be on we wouldn't see it.
Gotcha.
We are not riding through Texas on our way out, Landon. We are, I hate to say it, we're catching a plane. We're going to use some Eagle Rider bikes. Just a little easier for us to stay in the shop, spend some more time here, getting orders out, work done, and get to ride some different bikes while we're out there.
Yeah, so
the picture is wacky.
What do they need to do? Subscribe, or what do they need to do here? What happened?
That was the other tab. I'm going to have to just exit that.
We'll come back to it.
Leave site. Hopefully that helped. The boys' feed is fuzz.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Everybody's saying we are fuzz.
Low res, fuzz.
Maybe it's this Juicy Haze IPA.
That's for us, maybe, but we should be a little fuzzy.
Huh. Well, keep on talking. They can still hear you.
Yes.
Yeah. So what you said? What they need to what? Subscribe or something?
Oh, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need you folks to do that. It really helps out. Josh is checking out some connections, but we'll see what's up with that. You know,
Why would it look clear here for? Oh, because we're right
We're
to the
not streaming.
monitor.
We're just
Yeah.
Hopefully that's better.
well, we'll see.
It's better. Boom. Thank you, Landon.
So,
All right, well,
you know, we've been riding Harleys for a long time, many different bikes. And a couple years back, I got some LED tail lights. And for a while, everyone was like, "Are you riding with your brakes on? Because your lights are so bright and they work so well." And I said, "No, check it out." And I love how bright and how people can see them on the road, whether it's the blinker, the brake lights. Come to find out, or you guys came to find out, that I've been using Custom Dynamics for a couple of years, and you got them as well.
well, this date's actually your story is a little off.
Well, make it on.
You started with them first, and I
Yeah.
think they were on your blue street glide.
That far,
Yes,
that long
that
ago.
long ago.
Gotcha.
And so you're like, you got to get those. So I got them, and then when you got the red road glide, so not the new one,
Right.
you ended up swapping out, and
Yeah.
I don't know which ones you got, but I think it was the full ring,
Yeah.
and those things were like, yeah, you were almost riding behind you. Looks like you're on the brakes the whole time.
Right.
And what's funny is on the Road King, you know, I got the single 7-inch head beam,
Yep.
which is at the moment stock while I'm waiting for an upgrade. But I have the rings in the front. Everywhere I go at night, people are flashing me like I have my brights
Right.
on. And then I hit them with the bright, and they're like, all right.
So the point.
But
go ahead.
so another thing, that was the first, when I got my Softail, it came with bars on it. So the very first thing that you guys gave me when I got that bike, because those smaller, 5.25-inch headlights are so weak stock, was the drop-ins in there. And then second, when my Road King got stolen, they kept a bunch of stuff on there when they dropped the bike back, but they took the Custom Dynamics and they put in some wacko LEDs.
Janky.
So
Anyway.
the point of this is, we always talk about everything that we have on our bikes is product that we have been using. We love it. We stand by it. So when we have a partnership that we're going to talk about with Custom Dynamics, we are believers before we actually started talking with Custom Dynamics.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ted and the folks at Drag. I mean, they started talking to us about Karen and Kyle, and kind of initiated the contact. And we were at the drag show in Madison, and we're lucky enough to meet Dave Pribula. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad.
Just a little bit.
But he was there, so it was nice to meet him. And I think, we've got a display on the table. We should bring him in and have him talk about this incredible company he's got.
So it's really good for us, because since we are drag dealers, we get to sell the product.
Yeah.
So we're passionate about the product, just like all the other brands that we use on our bike. So then when you meet the owner, and he has a story from the ground up business that he built, it's a privilege and honor to have him as a guest today.
Of course it is. So without any further ado.
And he may or may not have a pretty awesome backdrop that we just haven't tried to do yet. So how's it going, Dave?
Great. Thank you for having me on.
Well, we appreciate it. And like I was saying in the prelude there, it was really great to actually put a face and name together. Your team has been great over the last few weeks that we've been dealing with them. We got our new big display here, showed up yesterday. So we've got that out in the shop. We're actually becoming a store of some sort here. You think we're motorcycle part sales guys or something, but so maybe just by way of introduction, give us a little bit of your background, and then we can maybe jump into the story about how Custom Dynamics came about.
Sure. So, but my background is electrical engineer. I've been, working in electronics my whole life. I'm a double E. Went to college at RIT. First job was at IBM. I worked for IBM for 10 years doing fiber optics. So I worked with lasers, with LEDs. From there, I worked for Philips Electronics. So I've got a pretty extensive background in semiconductors and electronics.
Well, that's great. And so you're in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Where is your residence?
Yeah, I've been down here in the Raleigh area for about 25 years. I grew up in upstate New York, in the Binghamton, Endicott area. I was born in Texas. My family moved to New York when I was fairly young, I think about the third grade. And so I grew up in New York when I got old enough to realize I hated winters and snow and shoveling. I made a decision to go somewhere where it was a little warmer and didn't snow too much and didn't have to shovel anymore. So I love the Raleigh area.
Well, I had a similar situation. I left Salt Lake City, Utah when I was 21 or so, and got out of the snow. The first couple of Christmases were a little different, being in short sleeves and shorts part of the day. So,
well,
you've been a lifelong.
Well, my story, I used to do the same thing. I shoveled snow every winter, but the opposite. I would take my truck to Fraser Park, shovel a bunch of snow in it, and bring it back to the valley in Los Angeles so all the kids had snow to play with.
Yeah, but that's fun.
Right. That's
not,
my.
You haven't shoveled snow.
You don't get the oxymoron.
No, I
here.
Totally do, but that's
all right.
fun.
Well, then have fun with it.
We don't have fun when you shovel snow.
No.
I'm telling you.
My people did.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, your people?
I'm kidding.
They're little.
Tropic Thunder.
They're little people.
What do you mean, you people?
So we like to have a little fun here occasionally. So, well, that's pretty cool. And so, Lance and I, 2.5 years ago, kind of started our brand. And as a former banker, we wouldn't really lend to people unless they had at least 3 years in business and profitable. And that's kind of the moniker is for small businesses to make it to the third year and cross that bridge. And we're well on our way to doing that. But I mean, you started this, give us a little of the history on Custom Dynamics. I think you were probably in the garage, and we sit here 20 years later and, you're celebrating success every year still.
Yeah. So kind of the way I got started is, I've always had a passion for motorcycles. I started riding when I was probably about 6-7 years old. Started on a little Honda 50. Grew up in a neighborhood where everyone had bikes. It was kind of the thing to do. You went to school, you came home from school, and got with all your buddies. We all hopped on our bikes and went riding. I think a lot of kids these days don't have the ability to do that. You don't have the neighborhoods like we used to when we were kids that we could just, hop on our bikes and go ride in the neighborhoods where we had a lot of, wooded trails and things like that. I go back to New York once in a while and go look where I grew up, and, all those trails are now big housing developments. So, all those areas are gone. And I think that holds true for a lot of us where we grew up and where we learned to ride and things like that. Those areas just don't exist anymore.
Well, it's definitely a different kind of vibe. We had a place we called the Gully, and it was like a big just ravine with trails all over it and tree lined and water. And so you got everything within minutes of the home, the house. And yeah, you can't ride in there anymore. And that's not allowed. And crazily, sometimes we didn't even wear helmets.
Right. Yeah, well, I can see that. But back in the day, where my house sits right now, it was called the White Hills. And that's the mountain. People all rode up there, and you could ride from the city streets up to that place.
Well, so, I think the family side of it he's mentioning too. Like, we used to every Saturday during the summers and springs, people were on the front lawn bring the lawn chairs, and kids were up and down the streets playing. And now we're kind of more of a backyard society where two people are working. They're maybe working a couple jobs to make ends meet, and they just want to be left alone and sit in the backyard and chill out from their week, I guess. I don't know. A little different. There are still some places out there, though. We've found them where the neighborhood, the town, is all kid friendly, and you see, side by sides and four wheelers and stuff out there. There are some left, but they're few and far
You
between.
find them out on the 2 lanes.
We do.
Yes. So go ahead.
It's nice that some of those still exist, but that's kind of how I grew up and learned to ride. And, I've always had that passion, always had motorcycles, and, those off-road bikes turned into street bikes. And as I went through school, developed a passion for electronics, and went to college and got my degree, and had my job at IBM, and then had my job at Philips Electronics. And while I was at Philips, I started to tinker around with LEDs. How it started back in 2002, I went to Myrtle Beach to a bike rally, and I had LEDs put on my bike at a show, and came back from the show and really liked the LED accent lights, the undercarriage lights. And I said, hey, I want to add more to this. And, how do I do this? I'm no longer at that show. How can I add to it? And I wanted to do it myself. So I started searching the internet, looking for these lights, and I, really had a hard time finding them. So I finally found some similar lights, and I ordered them, and they came in, and they had about 4-inch leads on them. And I'm like, well, this isn't really going to work. I'm going to have to extend the wires. So I ordered some wires, and I just kind of went through the process of, what it would take to add these to the bike. And it was a hassle. And I came up with the idea. I said, wow, if I went through all this and it was all this work, I think maybe there's a market for people to do this themselves. So, I started thinking about it. I had, a good job. I was a director of the whole technical sport division of Philips Electronics. I didn't really need the money. It was just an idea, just something to tinker around with. So I told my wife that, hey, I'm going to, buy these lights and make these little kits and sell them on the internet. And she's like, you're crazy. But
the internet, what are you talking about?
What's the internet?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
And I didn't know anything about the internet. This is 2002, and the internet's there, but it's not real popular back in 2002. I don't even know if it's even referred to the internet back then. It's the World Wide Web, right?
Right.
So I literally, after I got all my parts together and extended the wires on these and made these little kits, and I think I started off with about 6 different colors. We had everything together. I went and bought a book it was like Websites for Dummies. And I didn't know anything about websites and how to make a website. And I went and bought front page software and literally started reading in how to make a website, and started to write software. And I knew nothing about software. I'm an electrical engineer, not a software engineer, and put this little website together and put my little kits on this website and did everything to make it, an e-commerce website and accept credit cards, and figured out this whole process and had everything ready. So I'm like, all right, here I go. I'm going to sell these. So
were the first 6 sets of lights, were they the turn signal plugins or what?
Nope, just the LED accent lights, just the little decorative lights.
Yep.
And they're just little round pods back then in 2002. So I think I had everything ready to go probably in about September of 2002, and had my website launched and had it ready to go. And I'm like, all right, where are my orders? Well, no orders are coming in. And so I'm thinking, well, why am I not getting any orders? So started researching and stuff, and I'm like, well, what are people looking for? And they're probably looking for motorcycle lights, motorcycle LED lights. So let me use Google. Let me put those search terms in. So if you put the search term in, motorcycle lights, motorcycle LED lights. Oh, all right. Here I am. I'm on page 100.
So you were an SEO expert back in 2002.
So, well, I wasn't back in September of 2002, but by December, a few months later, I had read every article, every forum I could find. I made it my mission to become an SEO expert. I really put a lot of effort into it. And that's what started to make Custom Dynamics successful. We've always ranked very well in SEO. And by December 24th of 2002, we were up to about page 9 in rankings. And on December 24th of 2002, Christmas Eve at about 9 o'clock at night, I happened to check my email, and we had an order.
Wow.
and that was the start of Custom Dynamics.
Wow.
We had our very first order, and I was so excited, on Christmas Eve. That was a really nice Christmas present to get our first order.
Now,
awesome.
had you quit your day job and doing this 100%, or were you trying to manage both?
Yeah. So back then, at that point in time, I was still doing my day job, and I actually did my day job for several years after that. So, got my first order, and we came back home from where we were actually traveling, and shipped it. And then, a couple of weeks later, we got another order, and it slowly started to build. And, it took the first year before we really were doing anything of any significance. And then, the second year, we started to do a little bit more. But I stayed doing both jobs for the first 3 years. It really wasn't into the third year that it really started to become a struggle to do both jobs. And I really didn't feel, that it was fair to my employer that, be doing both jobs. And they knew the whole time that, I was starting this company, I was trying to do this. And it was a real difficult decision to leave. I had a really good job. I loved my job. And again, I never planned for Custom Dynamics to grow into this big company that it's become today. I was just playing around with something I loved to do. I loved motorcycles. I loved lighting because that was my background from my IBM days. And I was just putting my two passions together and having some fun.
Well, that seems to be how things work that are great ideas, that they come from a need and passion and turn out to be some great brand.
Yeah. I agree. And it's been, a real blessing, to be able to, quit my day job, to do this, to have a company. We now employ about 35 people,
Nice.
and be able to grow all these years. And I think, that we're truly helping people to be safer on the roads. And, I think that's a good feeling to know that we can make people safer out there, that have a passion for riding.
That's definitely true. And I feel the same way. We all feel that with the lights, there is definitely a safety factor there.
Well, there's been a big move as of late to go to Baja lighting, and
Right.
and I mean, some of the stuff is so bright, it's almost a detriment to the driver. That's we've got a buddy, I won't name his name, but I mean, that thing is lit up like New York City on Christmas Eve or something. I mean, but all your stuff is DOT approved. It's quality manufactured. It's like you've got a lifetime warranty on the stuff, and as long as it's installed appropriately and right. And talk a little bit about the value that Custom Dynamics brings to we've had a number of people comment. I've been watching about your stuff on here and how they love it and the quality, and talk a little bit about that quality control.
Well, one of the comments that I like before you get into it is they talked about your customer service, and to us, we value customer service. We answer the phone, we talk to people, we talk to our customers, our fans. But someone commented on here that they love the Custom Dynamics customer service.
Yeah, I really, really, pride ourselves on customer service in everything we do. So, not only do I want to have the best products that we can come out with, I really want to stand behind those. I really want to take care of our customers. And I'm not saying we're perfect. I've got 35 employees, and I'm not saying everyone is perfect, but we want to do the absolute best we can. We want to stand behind the products. If we make a mistake, we want to correct it. But, I think in not just this industry, but in so many things today, customer service is lacking. You go onto a website, you send an inquiry in, you never hear back. I mean, why do you have a contact us on a website if you don't have anyone to man it, and you don't reply to someone? And it's not I'm not just talking about the motorcycle industry, it's across the board these days. Customer service is just not what it used to be. So we train everyone here to handle the customer. Every inquiry we get, we use Zendesk, which is a well-known tracking every inquiry we get, whether it comes in via email, a phone call, a chat, it gets logged into Zendesk. We make sure every ticket is closed, every ticket is tracked for how long it's open and how long it takes us to close. We're constantly working on reducing that time. We're making sure that we have a quality reply, nothing gets missed. We make sure every email, every phone call is returned every day. We don't go home without returning every email, every phone call. So we really want to take care of our customers. We pride ourselves in customer service, and I think that's what really sets us apart from a lot of other manufacturers, not just in this industry, but across all industries, is taking care of the customer. Of course, we want to have the best products, but not even talking about the quality of the products, just focusing on customer service.
But do talk a little bit about your warranties and guarantees and the quality of material that you're using, and these lights that last forever. We just had a guy say, put him on his 2011 Road Glide, and they're still working. And so talk a little bit about that, if you
Sure.
would.
So in addition to, that customer service, we want to have the best lights that we can, manufacture. We use the best quality materials, the best quality LEDs. We have a lifetime warranty on all of our products, all of our LEDs, all of our modules. So we can have that lifetime warranty because we know how the materials that we use, the LEDs that we use, how we design it. We're not overdriving things so that they'll burn out prematurely. If you're driving things to their limits, they're not going to last. So we want to design things so that they last. They're not overdriven. We're not using off-brand LEDs. We typically use Osram LEDs, which are pretty much the best LEDs in the automotive field. We do use automotive grade LEDs, automotive grade semiconductors. The difference between automotive grade and standard grades is there's several things, but one of the most important things is the temperature range that they can operate in. So, using the highest quality components, making sure you are driving them at the proper range, and then quality control, making sure that we're testing everything to the right standards. And then, all of our products, everything that needs to be, all of our turn signals, tail lights, headlights, anything like that, we're making sure that it's complies with the standards, DOT standards, SAE standards, ECE standards if we're shipping to Europe. There's a lot of our competitors that literally don't care about standards, but there's a reasons that the standards exist. Headlight standards are there to prevent glare. You may look at a headlight that doesn't comply with the standards and think that it's really bright, and it may look really bright because it's producing a lot of glare. So when you stand back and look at it and say, wow, it's a really bright headlight, it probably really isn't. It's just throwing all that light in a lot of directions. But headlights should be very focused to put the light on the road and not up in the trees. It should be on the road. It should have a very wide ditch to ditch pattern, but it should be a very focused light and not throwing light and scattering it up in the trees and creating a lot of glare for oncoming traffic. You want the light in the right place to help you see, but you don't want to be blinding the driver that's coming around the corner at you in a car. So this is why standards exist, for their safety reasons why. You also don't want to be the dealer that's selling lighting that's non-compliant, and the person goes out there and gets in an accident, and now the insurance companies are looking at the lighting and saying, this lighting is not compliant, and they're going to go after everyone in the chain that has sold this lighting. So
that doesn't happen here in the U.S., does it?
No, not at all. Especially
not
litigious
at all.
Especially not in California.
Yeah, right.
So we make sure all of our lighting is compliant. So we spend a lot of money on equipment to test it and make sure that it's compliant. And a lot of companies, especially smaller companies, don't care. And I know sometimes the end user doesn't care, but there's a reason, like I said, that the standards exist and that why lighting needs to be compliant.
Well, we really care because we do a lot of miles with a lot of different conditions, whether it's rain, snow, fog, wind. So we have to have a quality product that we can trust.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we really haven't used the full arsonerl.
Right.
And we're excited. Karen sent over some build
And wait
thoughts.
a second. Speaking of,
Yeah,
Karen Keith is in the house.
she's there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Karen. She sent over some thoughts around the Road Glides and the Road King, and so we're going to put together a little bit of a list, and we're excited to see how much better the lighting's going to be, and some of the accent stuff as well, like on the upper fairing. It helps for safety, but it's kind of got that just cool accent to it as well. We've got the mirror on the table here where it blinks in the mirror as well, so a car next to you can see that, and it's exciting that we were already running the equipment, but we had no idea we were only running such a small portion of the equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've been running it for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
That's how long we've had Custom Dynamics.
Yeah, that's great. There's so many things that you can do, on the bike that could give you visibility, and it still looks nice on the bike. When you turn the bike off, you don't even know a lot of the lighting is there, and that's what we try to do. We try to keep our style of lighting so that it's sleek. It goes with the lines of the bike. Everyone's kind of got their own style of lighting. A lot of companies have a lot of flair to their lighting. We don't. We try to keep our lighting very sleek, and it goes, with the lines of the bike, in that it's bright, it gets the attention. But when the bike is off, we don't want it to be, very, it blends with the lines of the bike. You really don't even know that you've added additional lighting to the bike until you turn it on, and then pop, it's there.
Right. So I have maybe a different couple of questions for you. So outside of the first sale and you leaving your job 3 years later, Are there any other milestones that you're super proud of with Custom Dynamics? Like maybe was it the merge? Was it drag? Is it something else? Is it the growth of the company with employees?
Yeah, I mean, there's several things. I mean, one of our big accomplishments was getting in with Drag. Drag is a great company. I know you guys do business with them. I think that was probably, what really set our growth was when we got in with Drag. We have a great relationship with them. It took us a while to get in with them. So that's was a real big accomplishment for us. They have been great to work with. We have a great relationship with them that has really exploded our growth. We've been with them, I don't even know how many years now, probably getting close to 10. And maybe even more than that now. I lose track of time. But that has been a great relationship, and we're very proud of. I'm proud of all the people that work for me. Without them, we couldn't do what we do. We've got a great team. Everyone on our travel team. I know you met a bunch of them out in Sturgis. Our road crew, that's such a difficult job to go to these shows and put in all that work. I know Sturgis was extremely brutal this year with the heat, but to go out there and work and install for 12 hours a day, it's tough.
Well, I mean, we walked up to the tent. Kyle was actually wrenching on a bike, and we were like, man, they're getting their hands dirty in every part of this thing. That's a cool. We'd like to see that, actually.
He was on the ground under there, just getting all into it.
Oh yeah. Well, we used to have a real large tractor trailer that we took to all events. It was 83 foot. I mean, it was one of the largest ones in the industry. I think it was 2,200 square foot when we set up our awning. It was massive. And, it was great doing that. I mean, it was a lot of work setting the whole thing up and doing the shows that way. But, what we found as we continued to grow and continued to do the shows in that way is, we come into town with this massive show and all this inventory that we're starting to alienate our dealers. We pull into Daytona, and now our dealers in that town are like, well, how do I sell during Bike Week when you're here with this 2,200 square foot setup and 12 people and are just going to dominate the show? So we stopped doing that several years ago and said, instead of doing the shows like that, let's partner with our dealers. Most all of them have relationships with Drag. So we're working with our dealers. We're working through Drag. Now they buy the inventory through Drag. We come into town to support them. They have the inventory. And we come in and we install for them as a partnership. So it works for us. We don't have to carry that massive rig around. The dealer is there with the inventory, and we're helping them. So it works a lot better. We're still got the presence at the rally, but now we're doing it in a partnership and not competing with our dealers.
Well, you just allowed us to kind of peer into the soul of Custom Dynamics, I believe. I'm shaking my head here going, if you're a business owner, how crazy is that to stop that? But the approach that you take is pulling those people back into your fold, into your team, dealers that is, and allowing kind of both people to win. That's amazing, because people don't have that integrity as much anymore, as you well know.
Well, that says a lot about you personally.
Sure does.
To have your team of 35, they work for you. They must like working for you, and having what Galen just said about the dealer taking care of everybody, that says a lot. And that's something that we kind of pride ourselves on. We don't run product unless we like it. unless we become friends with the people that make it, because we want a relationship. We don't want a sponsorship. That doesn't mean anything. We need something that we like. We need to be family with everybody. And then we need to be proud to tell people to use it.
Well, we appreciate that. We recognized a long time ago how important our dealer and distributor network is, and that's why we have set pricing. You never see anything discounted. That's why we have a map. We want it fair for everyone. We don't ever run a sale. We don't ever try to take a sale away from anyone. We try to push everything we can through the dealer distributor network. We realize how important that is to us. I mean, it's 70% of our sales are dealer distributor sales through drag. So, that is our main channel of sales. So, that's where we want to see everything. We rather ship, big shipments through drag to our dealers, and that's what's important to us.
Well, on that note, I'm going to do a shameless plug at 2LaneLIVE.com. Karen sent over the top 50 custom dynamic sale parts. They're all on our website under lighting. If you use YouTube 10, you'll get 10%, or YouTube only, all caps, you'll get 10% off. So,
well, we got the part
for a plug.
That's a plug, and
I like it.
We loaded them up on our website real quick.
Yep, Kaylee did a great job. Josh directed her. Boom, new employees doing great. Talk a little bit about what's behind you. This logo it's like an old rock and roll, with a light in the center. Well, tell us a little bit about your logo there.
Yeah. So, back in 2002, when it was really just my wife and I was looking for a logo design, and I actually used a company to do some designs. They came up with a whole bunch of different ones that allowed me to pick one. And this is the one I went with. For some reason, this is the one that stood out to me. We are actually coming up on 20 years here in December. So we are looking at actually redesigning the logo because it is 20 years old. So you may see a new logo here in the near future, as this one is 20 years old. But this one has served us well. This kind of wing designed logo that everyone is familiar with, but it is turning 20 here very, very shortly.
Well, when you get ready to do that, you can throw up some samples at 2LaneLIVE on a live, and we'll get live feedback for you.
Yeah, great.
Well, that's awesome, and really, really cool story, and it's amazing. You probably wake up and go, I didn't really need to leave my job, but then it got to a point where I decided to leave, and now it's like, look at the company we have built, your team has built over the last 20 years, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's one of those decisions that, when you're there at the time, it is so tough to make. And, I remember that was, at the time, that was probably one of the biggest decisions I had ever made. And, what helped me through that, I remember, is I went in to talk to my boss about that. And I was literally shaken. I was so scared because, you have a good job and you love it. And, you've worked so hard to get there. And now you're taking such a risk. It's your own company, and you read all about, how many companies fail in the first 3-5 years. And, what do you do? And my boss was such a great guy. He told me, he goes, Dave, as long as I'm here, if things don't work out for you, you can come back. And, that gave me such a big relief that, I was like, I can just go for it now. I can go for it because I got, not to say he was going to be there forever, but I got a little bit of a backup plan here that if it didn't work, hey, I can come back. And fortunately for me, I never had to look back in the rearview mirror. It was just full steam forward. And, like I said, earlier, we were very blessed that we could just go forward and have, substantial growth every year.
Well, he left out 2 words when he told you that. He should have said, "You can always come back," but then he should have said, "But you won't."
So what was his first name?
His first name was Bill.
So Bill, we want to thank, if this ever hits Bill's airwave, thanks, Bill, because you gave the safety net there, and now we have a great company.
Yep, and actually, Bill was from San Jose. So
Oh, really?
You never know. He could be listening.
What are you riding these days?
My favorite bike to ride is a street glide.
Nice.
So I got a CVO street glide. So that's my bike of choice. I know you guys like the road glides, but I'm a street glide guy.
I had 2 street glides.
I've had a few street glide CVOs as well. I enjoy both bikes, quite frankly.
But I do like the road glide.
I like the street glide because it handles better on dirt. When you're hill climbing and doing some of that stuff. So have you got any custom dynamics on it?
Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we use that bike for a lot of testing and development, so it may be a little overdone.
Well, that's cool.
And so you're in North Carolina. We're going to Kentucky. We may get into the tail of the dragon. We're going to try and see if we have enough time to do that. We've heard a lot of differences on that. We have a lot of roads out here with multiple turns, and is it worth the run to go try to check that out?
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll absolutely love it.
And then
yeah, so if you get the chance, do it.
Yeah. There's a place called Robbinsville or something like that that's kind of just south of it looks like, and might be a nice place to stay. We're trying to look at some different, arrangements there, but we'll see what happens with our schedule.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, even if the riding at the tail of the dragon is maybe limited speed wise, I was looking at some pictures, and I think the drone shots will be pretty killer.
We didn't even think about that one, right?
We'll see.
Yes.
Let's see. Hey, we got Melissa V in the house. Her husband actually swung by earlier, picked up some gloves. Let me see. Do you think it's time for that giveaway?
Well, let's see if is there anything philanthropic or that you guys are associated with that you want to mention? If not, that's okay. We've got the reason I mentioned that Kevin Kent, who signed in earlier, we've got a veteran riser handlebar setup giveaway that we're going to post here in a few minutes, and it on a retail value new is about $900. So and it's somewhat can be expensive, but I think this is such a great thing when a guy says to us, "Hey, I want to get back and let's give my parts away," because he could go sell them on Facebook or he could sell them, in one of the forums, but he chose to not do that, and I think this is pretty awesome. So I don't know if you guys have affiliations or anything you're passionate about.
Yeah, Custom Dynamics. We support Veterans Healing Farm, All Kids Bike Org, Pause for Life, and Hope Reigns.
Awesome.
That's fantastic, because we have to give back, don't we?
Absolutely. Yep. We do that, and we've done a couple pay it forwards too. So we've actually talked about doing another one with the ornery one. We did one 2 years ago that was really real good, and I think we're going to do another one this Christmas.
Did you say the ordinary one?
Ornery one.
I think he's ordinary. We have a little showdown coming up next week.
Oh yeah,
he's going to be
He's
on the
going to
live.
jump on the live next week.
Oh, nice.
I think we have a little game we're going to play.
He's the ordinary one, and we're 2LaneLIVE.
Too lame.
Very nice. I'll have to watch that one. Yeah,
He's a great guy.
Yeah, TJ's fun.
Yeah.
Anything that you would like to talk about we haven't covered, and we've got a few more minutes, and then we can do the giveaway or whatever you'd like to cover if you have anything there.
I would just like to thank you guys. I mean, I think, this is a great partnership. I'm looking forward to, how we move it forward. I'm very excited about it. And I just, want to thank you for having me on. And, I thank you for using our product all these years, and looking forward to the future with you guys. I think it's going to be great, and really appreciate having me on tonight, and in our partnership going forward.
Well, we're all family now.
Yeah, and again, I want to go back to Karen, and she's outlined what I think is a great kind of workflow for us and you guys. I'm excited to get some more of the arsenal of the product on the bike, and thankfully we've got incredible followers that are truly engaged with what we do. And oftentimes get questions about the type of product we're running. And so when we know how well it's worked, it's such an easy story to tell. And we know how well it's worked on our bikes for the last 8 to 10 years. So it's going to be great. We're going to help grow the brand. We want to sell more of the custom dynamics as well. So there's a win-win there. And to have someone like yourself, who's the founder of the company, be able to come onto the show and we can have a dialogue with you, that means a lot. We have that same affiliation with, people at Legend, people at Clockworks. It's that family approach, and we can call Brian or Jesse, and we'll call you only when we need a house in North Carolina, though. Just kidding. But we're super excited.
Well, it's another great business success story. Yeah, I love those.
I love it too.
And one more question from Landon Smith.
Yep. Dave,
you walk into a bar. What are you ordering? What's your drink?
Absolute 7.
All right. Good man.
Okay, Landon. Great questions.
Yeah.
Hey, you get to know a man.
You're welcome to stay on with us, Dave. Is Kevin Kent, if you want to chime in, if you're still on but we should pull the randomator up. And
all right. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to. I want to put this on a single screen on you guys real quick.
We should do the randomator on the laptop.
Do we have the laptop? Well, I was thinking of moving this this screen so that camera can capture it, but that might be a bitch and a half, for lack of a better word. So let's see if we can do that. All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves, kiddos, because I'm gonna have to.
Dave, while he's getting set up, favorite ride.
Favorite bike,
favorite ride. What are some of your favorite rides? Places
that I've been.
Yes.
Tail the Dragons is one here in North Carolina. Sturgis is definitely, I think, probably number 2. And I know you guys were talking about Deadwood on the show last week. I absolutely love Deadwood, so it was interesting when you guys were talking about Deadwood, because that's my favorite place out in Sturgis is actually Deadwood. So
it is great. Does your wife get on the bike with you?
Actually, we are no longer together, so no, she does not. But she used to. So when we were together, she did. Yeah, she used to love to ride, but. I love that little town. I know something about that old Western town and all the history.
We love it too, and it was really great for us to see Sturgis in May and Deadwood in May, because you just don't have the traffic and the roads are to yourself, and just spectacular. The people are, during the rally, they're so wound up and trying to serve everyone, and it's just the rat race. But when it's off rally, people are just relaxed and laid back and so warm and welcoming.
Well, we met some new friends in Deadwood. Yeah, we got some great pieces on businesses there and what people do to run their business off season, on season. It was great.
Yeah. Have you met Scott Jacobs?
No.
You'll have to stop in his gallery there. He was one of Harley's first licensed artist, and he's been doing it for 20 years, and he's the salt of the earth. I mean, what a great guy, and welcoming into his studio.
Heck, some of his paintings with bikes might have custom dynamic lights in it
They
because he
might.
details them out
They
hardcore.
probably do.
Nice. Nice.
Boom.
I guess the other one is down in Florida when I'm down there at shows, riding out to Destin. I think is a nice ride.
Well, we may be doing some Florida next year. We'll see what happens.
What'd you say about the Ranimator? No?
Well, on the laptop, I have to like log in through Facebook and do all this stuff that I've already done on this computer.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to turn the monitor
Let's
and wing it.
just, hey, if we get a little fuzzy, we get a little fuzzy.
Well, I think it was just the way it was plugged in.
I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to just tune you out real quick, David, so we can have,
Sure.
let's see, 2 on here. All right. So if I spill again, I'm going to lose my mind. Let's move all this junk on my desk. Okay. So thank you, everyone, for all of the comments along the
Yeah,
way.
you can see that.
Well, you have to see the other side of it. I think I can move.
Just
There you go.
Yeah. They're going to have to deal with that. Anyway, we got this tab up. Now I can't see what they can see. That kind of works. So we have the post going up. We didn't tell anyone. They couldn't comment 20 million times or
Whatever.
tag a bunch of people. We didn't really have rules. So anyway, we're going to get comments, going to refresh this. There was 46. There are no filters on duplicates, and we're just going to wing it. So,
and we're gonna do 2.
yeah, we're going to do a runner-up just in case because we're going to call up and verify, make sure everyone's all good to go. Well, let's see here.
Here
Start.
we go. Ooh, there it is. Names are flying. Oh,
Land Shark RGS. So he nominated.
Quite
His
special.
comment was Reaper 22. So Reaper 22. I'm
The
going to look
winner.
that up real quick.
Well, let's
You
make
are-
sure we, yeah,
Let's see. Reaper.
maybe take a picture of it too.
Yeah, well, Reaper 22 looks to be Benjamin Harris, and he's got a blue Rogue Glide special with those bars that go. So he's going to have a pretty rad setup.
nice.
Anyway, I'm going to take a picture of that. So congrats, Reaper 22, a.k.a. Benjamin Harris.
Benjamin Harris, you are going to get a setup. Hopefully you want the setup and you're stoked about it.
And
Indeed.
I think your buddy Land Shark, you ought to give him a thanks too.
I think so.
So let's do one more just in case.
Just in case.
Maybe do 2.
2 more. We don't want to get anyone's hopes up.
Well, what if
Well,
the person
what if they get a
doesn't want
what if they get a USA badge
we could
shirt?
probably do that.
All right.
Land Shark again.
Oh,
Winner Land Shark. Was that the dude that commented like a ton of times?
Yeah.
J Payette 91.
Whoa.
So he'll either get a shirt or if the first dude
accepts the bars, the other
Yeah.
2 will get shirts.
Anyway,
do one more.
if Land Shark RGS
and we ought to
pops up
send
again,
Land
we're gonna
Shark a
have
shirt,
to
too.
let's see, one more. It's gonna look really suspicious if Land Shark pops up again.
There was one that commented quite a
Okay.
bit. So, and he was nominating different, and it probably was him. Lauren
Beth nominated Will Bray Brashears. So anyway, we got another runner up there.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you guys for playing. Hope that was fun.
runner-ups will get some stuff. They might even get some custom dynamic socks.
Whoa, some socks. I already cleared
Yeah, we
mine.
should give away some of the stuff
Yeah.
we got there.
Yeah.
Right.
Custom Dynamics Day.
So, hey,
Bring
what a
Dave
great
back
show.
in, and then we'll.
Boom, there he is.
Dave, thank you again for playing with us this afternoon. Appreciate you. I know you're a couple hours ahead of us, so
No
hopefully we
problem.
didn't interfere with your dinner.
And you can tell anyone that you know, Dave, that didn't get to see this, this will live on YouTube forever so they can go back and watch it anytime.
And it's
Absolutely.
also-
Karen will send a link out and do a social media post.
Awesome.
And it will also be on Spotify
yes.
In a couple days, yes,
in a
sir.
couple days.
So people could be in their car and they can listen to it as well.
And we're proud of you for the great company you've built, and we're proud to be part of that with you. So we appreciate it.
Here, here.
Great. Thank you. We're proud to be working with you in the future.
Cheers.
We'll see you down the
Cheers.
road.
And we will. That's you beat me to it. We'll see you down the road. Thanks again, Dave.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Take
Good
care.
night.
All right. Well, we got some giveaways going. We heard a pretty awesome story about some pretty awesome lights. We're going to be lighting up the streets pretty gnarly soon.
Yes, we
if
are.
You will.
We're heading into winter.
We are.
I mean, think about that. 20 years ago, he was tinkering around with LEDs.
Right.
And LEDs are so prevalent today in everything that we do.
Right. He was ahead of his time.
He was ahead of the time, and the stuff that we've got out on the board and the stuff we've got here. I mean, I think we're going to do I'm going to do the fairing, the two on top of the fairing. I think I'm going to go low profile on the front turn signals. I think I'm going to do the bag light underneath the bag.
I'm going to copy everything you do, so you can't be separate.
I'm going to do that ProBEAM headlamp that they have that's integrated with the turn signal.
Yeah, I definitely got to do that.
And then I think we were talking about maybe doing the vents.
I'm going deep. I
dig the vents.
Full when I park my bike at night. It's going to be, the ground's going to glow.
I love it.
Well, we got a comment from James Latoff saying this has been enlightening. Thank you, James. That's a knee slapper, bud.
That's our guy.
Yeah, I mean, for mine, I'm definitely doing the saddlebag lights there because I dig just the slim single line look. I'm trying to decide because I have the special, so I got the 2 blinkers on the rear. I think I already have at least some older LEDs. Yes, but I was thinking of, they have like a turn signal delete lit up license plate frame kit. I wish I knew the actual name, but you can actually get rid of those blinkers, and then in between the saddlebags and the fenders, you can put the LED fillers.
Yep.
Which on the special, you have to get rid of the whatever they call that thing. But I planned on doing that anyway once I got my short bags, and then do the tri-bar down below. So I'm pumped for it. Those, I've been waiting to do those for a while, even before this came up. So
yeah,
well,
I'm excited
for it.
Tri-bar as well.
We'll go to 2LaneLIFE.com. Check out our parts. We have plenty of great parts that we run, our bikes, stuff that we don't run that you might want. We have it. So check it out.
And next week we will have the ordinary one on with the 2-lane guys.
That's going to be a
The
good
2-lane.
show too.
Yep.
Well, let's see. We got wise words from Karen Keith. Go big or go home. We got Daryl Oaks. He says he loves the saddlebag lights. Scott says he's lit up. What else we got? There was actually a bunch of comments on here relating to that. So, you know, Bry the Biker, Custom Dynamics makes the best lights in the market. Hashtag get lit. That's right, Karen.
So we're
and all that good stuff.
We're going to light you up.
And Daryl, thank you for the call last week. We'll hook up. We're going to head to Kentucky next week. Maybe we could bring him on. I guess we still have a live to do next week. Maybe we could bring Daryl on and he could talk about what he's thinking about giving away to a vet as well.
So get to our YouTube channel and watch our videos that have been playing that you might have missed. You might not have, but this Wednesday's drop was awesome. The one before that was awesome. The one next week's going to be awesome. So check it out. And a special thanks to Kevin Kent.
Everything's awesome.
Indeed.
Everything's
including
awesome.
Kevin Kent.
And
Kevin,
you know,
thank you very much for that.
When we're on
winners.
When we're on trips sometimes, Galen, you know, we have to, you know, tell our buddy, hey, your blinker's on. He's had his blinker on this whole time. Have you checked your blind spot? Yeah, buddy. Those are sick. I'm actually really pumped on those. Nice low profile. I'm nerding out. Sorry.
All right. Well, hey, are we good?
I think we're good. We are at 1 hour, 3 minutes, 10, 11, 12 seconds. It's 5:03 p.m. We had a great time, and we will
see you down the road
after they subscribe.
Thanks,
and do all that yada yada.
Oh yeah, subscribe.
See you next week,
YouTube
everyone.
channel, tell your friends, all that good stuff.
Yep, and broadcast and